In May 1945, the Third Reich collapsed. Berlin lay in ashes. Hitler was dead. The thousand-year Reich crumbled in as little as 12 years. But the end of the war did not mean the immediate downfall of every SS officer. Many remained at large, disguised, hiding, running. Some were still armed, many had discarded uniforms, assumed false names, or vanished among the civilian population. The war had ended. The reckoning had only just begun. In those final days, some SS leaders were unwilling to admit defeat. They entertained the fantasy that Germany could still bargain, that confrontation between the Western Allies and the Soviets might allow remnants of Nazi leadership, including Himmler, to survive or even serve new masters. Himmler in particular hoped the SS would be deemed useful to the West in the unfolding Cold War. During this desperate period, Himmler issued some of the cruelest orders of the war's end. Destroy the evidence. Concentration camps were evacuated, prisoners were forced into death marches, walking for miles in cold, without rest or food. Anyone who lagged behind was shot. The goal was explicit: annihilate witnesses, eliminate documentary proof, burn the machinery of genocide before it could be exposed. By May 6, 1945, just 2 days before Germany's unconditional surrender, Admiral Karl Dönitz, whom Hitler had named his successor, dismissed Himmler from all government posts. Himmler had secretly tried to negotiate with the Western Allies, betraying Hitler's trust and incurring public condemnation. Without office or protection, Himmler fled, only to be captured by British soldiers near Bremervord. On May 23, 1945, he bit down on a hidden cyanide capsule. He died almost immediately. The architect of the SS, of the Holocaust's bureaucracy, ended up buried in an unmarked grave. After Himmler's death, and coupled with the suicides of other high SS leaders like Richard Glocks, the command structure disintegrated. Germans were lost without orders. Many simply took to the roads. German infrastructure was in ruins. Supply lines broken, fuel scarce, maps destroyed. SS men traveled alone or in small groups. Some attempted to slip back into civilian life. Avoiding capture was the first priority, especially to evade the Soviets. Reports of harsh Soviet reprisals circulated widely. For many SS men, surrendering to British or American units seemed safer. Some approached Allied patrols, hands raised, claiming to be clerks, cooks, or otherwise uninvolved. But identification was difficult to evade. Some bore SS blood type tattoos, often under the left arm, originally used in medics triage. These tattoos now marked men. A few tried to erase them, to burn, cut, or chemically remove the marks. Others used makeup to hide them. Yet scars, crude and visible, often betrayed them. Once captured, fate depended on who held them. In Soviet hands, few SS men survived. Many were executed summarily, others were sent to labor camps in Siberia, never to return. The Americans and British often followed more formal procedures. SS captives were interrogated, detained in camps, and in many cases sent to trials. But the process was messy, uneven. Some were beaten, others testified that confessions had been forced. The first major trial began in Nuremberg in 1946, followed by several others across Europe. Among the accused were well-known commanders of the Waffen-SS and camp system. Witness testimony, survivors who had endured selections, beatings, starvation, and execution broke through layers of denial. Documents, blueprints, transport logs, camp ledgers survived even where physical structures had been destroyed. Prosecutors used them to establish patterns, chains of command, and individual guilt. Defense attorneys often argued duress, following orders, or limited personal knowledge. Many SS men claimed they were only clerks, only cooks, or merely following commands. Some said confessions were coerced. The trial's fairness was sometimes questioned, especially in the earliest ones. But even as political pressures mounted, the logic of evidence, witnesses, Documents and photos prevailed in many cases. Sentences ranged, some death sentences, others decades in prison, some acquittals for lack of proof. In the years that followed, the legal verdicts were only the beginning of a broader struggle over meaning. Who would tell the story of the SS and how? In the West, Allied denazification programs aimed to remove former Nazis from public life, to purge fascist ideology from institutions, and to build democracy from the rubble. But as the Cold War intensified, priorities shifted. Former Nazis, especially lower-level ones, found ways back into society. Scientists, bureaucrats, even some former SS officers slipped into new roles in the public sector. In West Germany particularly, political pressure to contain communism sometimes trumped strict enforcement of punishment. The SS as an institution was declared criminal at Nuremberg. However, individuals tried to escape this stigma. Enter HIAG, Hilfsgemeinschaft auf Gegenseitigkeit der Angehörigen der ehemaligen Waffen-SS, founded by former senior Waffen-SS officers. The group's mission was to present the Waffen-SS as a professional, apolitical fighting force, separate from the SS's criminal branches. Through magazines, public appeals, legal battles, HIAG lobbied for veterans' rights, pensions, rehabilitation. It claimed many Waffen-SS men were conscripts, insisting that the narrative painting them as war criminals was exaggerated. HIAG's efforts sparked controversy. Rallies celebrating former SS men, songs, speeches, even neo-Nazi symbols elicited sharp public rebukes. German courts repeatedly rejected the notion that the Waffen-SS was equivalent to the army when it came to responsibility. Still, HIAG persisted through the 1950s and 1960s, gathering influence especially among conservatives and anti-communists. Beyond the public sphere, more clandestine networks took shape, soft support systems for fugitive SS figures and convicted war criminals. Among the most well-known was Stille Hilfe, Silent Help. Founded in the early 1950s by conservative and aristocratic donors, some with church connections, its purpose was legal aid, clandestine assistance, forged documents, safe havens. Gudrun Borwitz, daughter of Heinrich Himmler, was deeply involved. She never publicly condemned her father's crimes, but instead worked to defend, assist, and memorialize SS members. Alongside others, she helped compile legal defenses, provide financial assistance, channel donations, establish contacts across Germany, Austria, and beyond. Stille Hilfe quietly aided fugitives living under false identities, helped those tried in absentia, even those who fled to South America or the Middle East. Some of these fugitives left records of their survival thanks to such networks. While many have been captured or tried, some escaped until late in life, often shielded by sympathetic governments or covert support. Meanwhile, survivors, historians, and human rights groups pressed on, digging up documents, interviewing witnesses, preserving memory. Rewriting legacy and the long shadows. By the 1960s and beyond, public awareness grew. Camp documentaries, trials of camp guards, and survivor testimony pushed the memory of the SS crimes into public consciousness. Meanwhile, HIAG and Stille Hilfe's influence began to wane, but not vanish. The myths of the SS as just soldiers or apolitical victims persisted in far-right circles, in some textbooks, in local communities reluctant to confront the past. In some cases, SS membership disqualified individuals from pension or public employment, but enforcement varied. In some towns, former SS men were quietly accepted back into civic life. National and international pressures, legal actions, scholarship, and media gradually chipped away at revisionist narratives. Even so,
The 1940s and 50s left lasting wounds. For survivors, many former SS officers walked free or received lenient sentences. For governments, the tension between justice, geopolitical expedience, and collective memory shaped post-war society. This was the fractured, tragic transition, the SS, once central to Nazi terror, struggling to survive in a world that had turned against it, but always finding ways to persist, in hiding, in denial, in myth, and sometimes in shadows of power.